I cannot believe that I missed this when I did the Age of Sigmar video yesterday, but it's okay. We're going to take a look at the Cities of Sigmar Cavaliers right now. And these are the Freeguild Cavaliers in question, and I already like them. Like, first impression is really good. Really good, actually. Yeah. This is like, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's still very fantasy. It's still very over the top, very like fantastical elements going on. The armor on the horses, I don't know how necessarily true to life you would consider the armor on the horses, but it still feels relatively grounded. It's like the Stormcast thing. Like we talked yesterday about the fact that the old Stormcast armor was extremely over the top, extremely kind of fantasy based, and the newer stuff, whilst it's not necessarily like realistic or what you would actually see, it at least feels more grounded, and that to me made it feel a bit more setting appropriate. It made it feel a bit more kind of a bit grim, a bit darker. I'm getting the same vibe off this, where there are undeniable like serious fantasy elements going on. Like, I love the little decorations on the horses' helmets. The horses' helmets also look great, but things like the little hourglass that's on the guy in the back there, the extremely heavy, like, ornamentation on top of their helmets. Like, there's definite, like, really kind of fantasy elements going on, but they don't look as though they couldn't function. They don't look silly. They don't look like they are completely over the top. The horses look relatively sensible and sane. The armor on the horses also, maybe that's a call that is too early to make. Let's just have a quick look through these before I go ahead and make that statement. So, yeah, I like the armor on the riders. That looks really good. I'm liking the ornaments on top of the helmets. They look really cool. Heavy but cool. Got a nice variety of weapons as well so far. That lass at the back, she looks like she could absolutely just murder you without a second's hesitation. Beat the crap out of you. Ooh, that's an interesting helmet on that one on the front there, actually. That is very corn reminiscent to me. Having that kind of portcullis coming out of the top of the helmet, like it really feels like a crest of corn. That's interesting. I wonder if that was an intentional reference or whether that's just something that's kind of happened and they've run with it. There are lots of really nice details on these. Really nice details. Like, I love the fact that the armor on the horses, it's slightly different each time. No two bits of armor are alike. That's a cool little change between each model. The banner looks excellent. Yeah, I'm liking these a lot. For some of the horse armors, I'm getting like a real steam tank feel out of them. I think it's because the overall shape is relatively angular. It's still curved, but you can see that there are like definite seams and there are like hard joins and hard corners going on. And especially the ones that have got that like additional bit of like metal decoration at the base of the armor. It's making me think steam tank. Now, obviously not exactly like the steam tank. In fact, if we take a look at the steam tank, it's not exactly the same, but the overall, I guess it's like the overall feel is familiar enough, it's reminiscent enough of it that it's making me think about it, which is obviously a good thing because they are part of the same range, part of the same faction. I'm assuming the steam tank will get updated along with the rest of the Cities of Sigmar, but you know what, I don't know, I feel like there is enough similarities there that you can kind of, maybe not draw a comparison, but it makes you think of it. It has the right sort of elements to put that in mind. It may be that in actual fact it's just coincidence and I've read too much into it, but I don't care if I've read too much into it because it's a nice similarity to have. I will say as well, I'm liking the poses on the horses too. There's none of them that look like they might be about to snap a leg. I forget which range it is, but one of the ranges, it might have been the Lumineth actually. Is it the Lumineth, their horses? Do they have horses? I think it was them. Some of theirs just looked like the legs were going to snap, like the horse just balancing on one hoof mid full gallop, and I'm not 100% on how horses actually move, but I feel like you've got to take into consideration like the layman when it comes to like sculpting stuff like that. If it looks to just anyone that it's going to snap a leg and fall over and die, that's maybe not the best pose for it, you know? I've not got that from any of these. Something that I've just noticed, I was flicking through the pictures again and I've just noticed, what is going on the base of the dude with the sword with the reindeer, with like the deer hat? The deer helmet. What is going on down there? Because it looks like a little tiny pair of legs with a snail shell on top. And if it is actually that, what is that? What's going on there? Is that a thing? A little snail men a thing? Did I just not know about the little snail men? What is going on? It's not just me, is it? It looks like a little dude with a snail shell. That's weird. That's weird. What is going on there? Okay, we're going to look into that. We've got to look into that because what? Now I feel like I'm hallucinating. If I put this video up and no one else can see that, then I'm going to be not just embarrassed, but also concerned for my own health. Yeah, overall, I'm really liking these. I love the design of the shields. The shields look really cool. The armor on the horses looks fantastic. The armor on the actual riders, I'm really, really liking. It's that kind of, it's that nice mix of feeling reasonable, feeling believable, but also having some nice fantasy elements to it. The weapons are the same. You know, they all look functional. They all look like they would work, but they're not just plain. There's a little bit of adornment. There's a little bit of kind of, there's a bit extra going on there just to really hammer home the kind of almost like gothic crusadey nature of these guys. I mean, especially given the overall context right now of the fact that the Dawnbringer Crusades are going on and the followers of Sigmar are literally marching out to reclaim lands taken by Chaos, I think those extra adornments work super, super well. I like the fact that they've put these in the article as well, so you can kind of see what the old ones look like. The old ones? Like, good lord, these are dated now. Wow, those are dated. Oh, you can just tell, like, the difference in like sculpting, in just technology as a whole between these and the new ones. Like, they're not bad, but there is a crispness that is just absent from these. There's like a level of detail, a level of like sharp, like clean edges that you just don't get on the old models. It really is like night and day what Games Workshop used to be able to do and what they can do now. There are significant differences between these and the new ones, but I have to say I'm preferring the new ones because there's a lot more personality going on. This is not a bad looking unit, but especially in the context of AOS as opposed to just fantasy, them having a bit more character each, I think that makes more sense for like the system they're in now compared to what they used to be in before. We've got another couple of nice images down here as well. That's a fantastic helmet. That's great. Love that. Yeah, I'm really liking these. Whoever painted that horse as well, that is a quality horse. That is a quality horse. Look at that horse. Absolutely loving this dude. There's just something about that, like that pose, that combination of weapon, shield, and just the way that they've painted all of that. That's like, oh god, I want to see a whole squad just painted exactly in that scheme. Just exactly that. The muted reds with the kind of like dirty kind of what would probably at some point have been like white cloth that's just kind of yellowed with age. The weathering on the metal for the armor, that looks so good. That's the kind of like muted color scheme that makes them look like properly grim and dark fantasy. I'm loving that. So there you go, the Cities of Sigmar Freeguild Cavaliers. We got there in the end. It's okay, we managed it. I'm super happy with these. I think these look absolutely fantastic. I'd really, really want to paint some of these now. I really want to paint some of these. Question is, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned because in a little bit we're going to be covering the Horus Heresy side of things. I hear there's a new Plastic Knight. Oh! In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon videos, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you'd like. I leave it in your capable hands, and I will see you in a couple of hours, probably.